Mona, I have seen some exhibits in my time, but this is absolutely one of the most fabulous exhibits I have ever seen, and we are glad to have with us this morning Jason Shaiman, the curator of exhibitions at the Miami University, of Ohio Art Museum. Jason, thank you for coming aboard.
Thank you for having me.
We have an indirect connection. I can't talk about the indirect connection to Miami, but I was there in January for the unveiling, and I tell you, this absolutely blew my mind, and I figured we need to let people know about this exhibit. It is the Telling the Story exhibit, and it's a children's literature exhibit, but it's much broader than that. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, it looks at African American experience, the cultural and historical identity through children's picture books, and looking at specifically the artworks as the visual storytelling.
I was blown away primarily by the amount of children's literature, not only the amount of the children's literature, but the specific genre or the subject matter of the children's literature. And you said the same thing when you were compiling it.
Yes, it was much larger than we ever anticipated. I mean, just in the exhibit, we have 130 works on display by 95, representing 95 books, 33 illustrators, which is actually a pretty small number considering African American children's illustrators have produced over 600 books.
And you were, when I asked you this, I said, what was your favorite book, or what was your favorite piece, or favorite illustration? And you told me beforehand.
Yes, it was the story of Fannie Lou Hamer about Freedom Summer and her involvement in the democratic freedom movement. And it was incredibly important for us at Miami University because it was on the grounds behind the museum where Freedom Summer volunteers trained to go to Mississippi. So having that connection with that particular book, having 3 illustrations from the book, with our location just seemed quite appropriate.
And how long did it take you to go through the process of collecting the literature, and what was the process of whittling them down? Oh
gosh, it was about 3 years to develop the whole exhibit. You know, initially we came up with the concept, then we started to identify all the illustrators, and then when we realized there were over 600 books, we knew we had a monumental task ahead of us. So we started whittling them down and focusing on the historical periods of the African American experience, actually starting with African oral storytelling traditions and moving through the Middle Passage into slavery, the Civil War, emancipation, Reconstruction, up through the civil rights. So once we came up with those parameters of the time periods, it was much easier to select the books that would fit within that narrative. Okay, so we don't lose this on our time. So the exhibit, which began in January, it extends through January the 30th, correct? June 30th. I said January. Yeah. June the 30th. And it's at the Miami University Art Museum. There's the address there on the screen, 801 South Patterson Avenue up in Oxford, Ohio. We like to say the Miami University as opposed to that Miami University down in Florida, but we're not going to hold that against them. And then also there's some exhibition facts, 35 illustrators, 95 books, and 130 illustrations, telling the people's story, African American children's illustrated literature. And then the gallery hours, Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5 p.m. And I want to remind everybody, it's free and open to all. We like free. Yes. Mona, you like free? Like free and open to all. And the gallery hours are Tuesday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then closed Sunday and Monday. But again, Sunday and Monday. But again, it is open until June the 30th. Right. And then we have a couple of pieces of literature here on the desk, and several pieces of literature. John Roy Lynch and the Amazing Age of John Roy Lynch and the People Who Could Fly. Just very compelling. And again, as I was walking through it, I was amazed at the diversity from and trying to address it from a children's standpoint. Is there anything for our viewers who are planning to come to the exhibit that you would like to alert them to, or something that you think that will stand out to them when they come and see the exhibit? Well, I think they'll get a whole new appreciation for what really goes into developing children's books.
And when they see the illustrations, we start to really pay attention more to them as part of the book, but also as an independent art form. And they really are fine artworks. They transcend everything that we typically associate with book illustration. And we're looking at mixed media, collage, painting, drawing. So it's a pretty wide variety of materials that are included, but the styles of all the illustrators is so diverse. Some that are almost photorealistic, and then others which are more gentle in nature, maybe have a little bit more of a caricature appearance to them. So I think there's a little bit for everyone, but there are some books that have some pretty serious content, and some of the imagery may be hard for some kids, but we feel that that's important for telling the story. And that parents, should take a look at some of the books perhaps prior to showing them to the children. But they're really safe for all children of all ages. I mean, these books were really created specifically for the children's audience.
Once again, I said fabulous. I was again, I was spellbound, and my jaw was dropping. And again, I didn't realize. I guess I realized there was an amount of children's literature, but again, addressing African American history from the standpoint of children just blew my mind. But we hope the continuing success of the exhibit.
Thank you.
I'm glad you could come and join us. And again, going on till June the 30th at the Miami University Art Museum on Patterson Avenue in Oxford, Ohio. And again, Jason, thank you for coming. And I'll be back up to see it. Maybe
wonderful.
2 or 3 times.
Look forward to having you back.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
And